Bonjour, bonjour. Valerie Ishmael looks to be exploring the French market. That's right, as a defender has been linked by joining Rovers this coming summer. Who is it? Well, I'll tell you all about him next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're taking a look at the latest name link with Blackburn Rovers, and we'll get to that in just a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and you want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, French football, world football. We're going to all hear under one Roverseas. That's right. Bonjour, bonjour. Big Val, of course, and his recruitment staff are looking at Ligue 1. And of course, the latest name is a juggernaut of a defender, and it could be an absolute steal if we can get them over the line. But we've been down this road before, guys, when we're linked with high-profile, or for us, high-profile defenders on players, and only to be outwitted by someone else in the transfer market. But who am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in just a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. But let's take a look at him. Of course, and of course the link, because it is a legitimate inquiry, is this guy, Modibo Sagnan. He just plays football over in Ligue 1. For Montpellier. So who is he? And I'll show you the link right here, right now. All right, folks, here it is, of course, courtesy of the Lancashire Telegraph, and this was posted actually on the 26th of May, and it does say, Blackburn Rovers joined transfer race amid Leeds and Sunderland links. Now, if you do read it, again, behind the paywall, but there are filtered or regurgitated websites out there that do post the full extent of this revealed by Lancashire Telegraph. And it does say here, in bold, in the main text, Rovers are in advanced talks to sign Montpellier centre-back Modibo Sagnan. Here he is, juggernaut of a defender. But let's take a closer look at the fella, and of course why he would be such a bloody bargain, of course, for Blackburn Rovers. So here he is, of course. Yeah, Cafe Hague, of course. He is 26 years of age, 1.87 centimetres tall. He has played for this country of Mali, but he's also played for the youth setups for France. And we'll do a deep dive into that later. He is left-footed, and his contract does expire in 2028. What does that mean? Means cash, baby. Means cash. Meanwhile, he does play at left centre-back, but he can play at left-back. Of course, his stats are pretty savvy when you look at defending 63, technique is 53, tackling's 56, pretty solid. Played 27 times for Montpellier in the top flight in English football, scoring 2 goals in the start 11, 71% of the time. He has got a bit of a disciplinary issue, 10 yellows. But of course, we're no stranger to that nonsense, and we could do with a bit more nonsense in this situation. Now, what has led to this development is that Montpellier got relegated from League 1 to League 2, of course. So, relegation release clause, the valuation is around about 3 to 4 million. So, we're talking, there's probably half that fee, 1.5, 2 million. And it does tick a lot of the boxes, and it does get me excited. And I'll tell you, it gets me excited, but also gets me a little frustrated, because this could all be smoke and mirrors, guys. We could be linked with this guy and then end up with a signing, no disrespect, a Bristol Rovers knockoff, or a guy out of contract and he's a bit dog shit. So this is a point to prove, and hopefully, like Rudy Gestede has said in multiple podcasts or whatever, time to get creative in the transfer market, and this could be an absolute bloody bargain. Masterstroke. He played 27 times, started 24 of those, scored 2 goals. His goal was one with his head, one was left foot. Left-footed players are still a rarity. And of course, having one at the back line would be pretty dang solid. Clean sheets, no clean sheets from Montpellier's side with this guy in it, so that's a little bit concerning. But this is his heat map here, of course, definitely bossing this left-hand side. Of course, so playing at the back, in the back 4 there, on the left-hand side of a 2 centre-back pairings, you would imagine, or maybe a back 3 centre-backs, left-sided centre. I don't know, whatever Big Val's got up his sleeve, I'm all about it. Passes, success rate 89%. 94% success rate in his own half. And again, moving forward, 79% as well. He's a big old unit. He has got 10 yellow cards, no red cards. He was in the team of the week once over in La France, but of course, a very dismal end to the campaign for Montpellier as they were relegated to Ligue 2, of course. He can also, believe it or not, play as striker. Typical Harry Maguire-esque. Lump it forward and he will score. And he has got a nice track record of clubs over his tenure. He was on my books, my Spanish club, Real Sociedad. He was also on the books of Lens, Marandes, also over in Spain, Tondela, Montpellier, and of course over in the Dutch and with Utrecht. He's played for the national team 4 times for Mali, and of course broke into that team about a year ago. He was also in the French under-23 side, as well as the Olympic team as well. I'm not too sure if he won a medal or not. That's, of course, to be investigated. And of course, of his track record, he's played in, it looks like, the top flight in La Liga, in the top flight in the Dutchlands, top flight in Ligue 1. So this guy reeks, absolutely stinks of quality. Absolute quality. He ain't no bloody Serie C. He ain't no bloody Belgian tier football. This guy has played top-level football, and not just the odd appearance. That's quite considerable numbers. And it does get me excited. Honestly, I have never been this excited about the prospect of signing a defender in a long, long time. And I'm talking pre-Dom Hyam. I'm talking pre-Charlie Mulgrew. I'm talking possibly Ryan Nelson. I'm talking possibly Chris Samba. And again, even when Ryan Nelson and Samba were signed, I wasn't that excited. This guy gives me goosebumps. It really does. And I'm very hopeful that this is not bullshit. Get us a little bit excited, only to be bitten in the arse. Well, let's take a little deeper, because there's a couple of little caveats to this. Of course, this is him. Compared to our current left-sided defender, it's Scotty Wharton. Of course, Scotty Wharton, notoriously injured of late, currently on the mend, looking to be back in the first team consideration next season. He's a little older than Modibo Sagnan. He's a little bit shorter, but they both play left-footed, and will be in the left centre-back option, you would imagine. What would this mean if Modibo Sagnan comes in for Scotty Wharton? Honestly, there is room. There is room for two left-sided centre-backs. Ideally, you would want, again, I want competition for places. I want at least two people for each position in Blackburn Rovers centre. I'm talking not two people, one senior pro, one youth academy product. No, I think a squad of 22 senior pros, that would be fantastic. And use the youth guys as and when. They're going to get injuries. You're going to get dipped down to about, you're going to get suspensions. So that 22 will be nibbled down to maybe a 15 at some point. Then you bring in the youth. Then you start throwing those guys in and give them the chance. I'm not a football genius, but my understanding is it's a 22-man squad. You can select youth players under the age of 21 or what have you without limits. So you can have your Igor Tudons, your Christian Montgomerys or whatever, Leo Duroux, whoever's under the age of 21, still involved in the first team setup, just not necessarily registered within that 22. So I'm under that mindset. 22 senior pros, 22 players you believe are capable, that will play senior minutes here for Rovers, that add depth and quality. That's my mantra here. Scotty Wharton has a space in this caliber with two left-footed centre-backs would be fantastic. I don't think Dom Hyam is a left-footed centre-back, and that's another caveat. So, well, there's two caveats. One caveat is we aren't the only one interested. We are in advanced talks, which is good. We do have Bonjour, Big Van, who speaks to La France in the dugout. We have also Bonjour, Rudy Gested, who hopefully will be dipping his toes into the French market and exploring some of these gems, just like Modibo Sagnan. So those guys hopefully can sweeten the deal and get them on side and show, hey, this is it. But Sunderland are interested and Leeds are interested. They're interested, might be a little bit old by now. It might be January news, but Rovers are more fresh off the back here. So we're competing with the newly promoted Premier League sides here. So hopefully their interest has moved on elsewhere and they're going to focus on more ascertained Premier League quality players, where Modibo Sagnan is probably Premier League quality. I think he is. But I just want him to give us a crack. Now, again, that's one caveat. The other caveat, we've been here before. We were linked with Anwel Amazovic, or whatever his name is, now on the books of Sheffield United. And we were linked, strongly linked, when John Dale Thomason was in the helm. He played for the guy. Everything all signed, all lined up. Oh, yes, he's played for him. Got, sweet deal. We just got relegated. With Bordeaux or whatever, the deal kind of, they got dissolved as a club or what have you. And we were linked. But no, up steps fucking Sheffield United with a wad of cash. And guess what? We don't get it. We ended up with, who did we end up with? Did we end up with Dom Hyam? No, it wasn't Dom Hyam. We ended up, honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know who we ended up with in place of Anwar Amazovic. So that's one. That's another caveat. Also, as I'm recording this, in fact, prior to this, there is talk that Danny Bart might be actually leaving the club. His contract did expire. That was on the table, and there was positive talks about Blackburn Rovers getting him signed up for at least another season. But Guess who's bloody reared his fucking head again? The snake. Eustace is back, and he's trying to nip our talent. Nip at Andreas Wyman, nip Danny Bart. So we could be one man down. So as of right now, my gut feeling is if everything is as it is, or what is likely to happen, is our centre-back options would be Scotty Wharton, Hayden Carter, Dom Hyam. That is the senior pros capabilities. So we do need a vacancy at the current situation. If Danny Bart was to sign, I don't think we should, throw the kitchen sink at this. And I wouldn't be too disappointed if we weren't to pick up a guy like Modibo Sagnan here. But if we were to pick up Modibo Sagnan, it does improve that strength and that quality at the left side of that centre-back pairing. And then you would look to maybe have Modibo Sagnan starting alongside Hayden Carter, perhaps a bit more young, and maybe build a partnership there. Or you could chuck him in there with Dom Hyam, and hopefully they can build a core foundation. But yeah, Danny Bart would be a massive miss. Him and Dom Hyam's partnership is what built the foundations on our defensive core last season. So yeah, questions, concerns about the potential of this deal. Going back to it, the valuation was as high as 4.5, now dipped down to 3 million. That's prior to relegation back in December 2024. They've now got relegation, so you can probably half that. There might even be a release clause, who knows. But hopefully Rovers are in there. And if so, we're going to have a little party, because that would be a massive signing for Rovers. Look at him. Look at his numbers. He's played 194 times. It's less than that of Scotty Wharton, but look at the caliber of games he's played. Like I said, he's played Liga on top flight 40 times, the top flight in the Dutchlands. I think that's top flight Portugal there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Top flight Spain. He's also played in Ligue 2, the second division in France and Spain as well. Europa League football. So he's done a lot of good shit, and he is still a raw, young kind of talent. So honestly, this would be a balmy bit of business if we could get over the line. The question is, though, do Rovers do this? And honestly, if they were to do this, that would give me the belief, the sort of mindset that we are on the right track with the guys, with the recruiting. We're going big, going bold, and this would be a real statement of intent for our season. He's French, of course. That means he's going to be one of Big Val's players, and hopefully, slots in nicely in the back pairing. Of course, it doesn't guarantee success. It just means we're actually stepping up a little bit and going for quality. But again, just like Rudy said, being creative in the transfer market. This is a creative move if we can pull it off. Ultimately, we got a lot of competition and a few stumbling blocks to get over the line. And hopefully, Danny Bart also signs on the dotted line. Now, if we could have Danny Bart, this fella, Dom Hyam, Hayden Carter, even Scotty Wharton, have 5 centre-backs. It might be a little bit greedy, but Hayden Carter can then maybe push out to the right-hand side, be a backup for Callum Britton, maybe not less focus over there. Anyway, a lot. Again, just poking the bear right in here, right now. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of this, and if we are going to get over the line with Modibo Sagnan. That's right. Until then, subscribe. See you later. We're done.